The airplane was made to transport Air Force One. This is the airplane made to carry Air Force One. Not escort it, not refuel it, but lift the entire presidential jet onto its back and vanish into the sky when every satellite is watching and every second counts. Because there are scenarios where Air Force One can't take off, and that's when this aircraft is called in. A plane so rare that most Americans don't even know it exists. Its mission is extraction, protection, and continuity of government at 35,000 feet. But aircraft like that don't just appear out of nowhere. They're built on a legacy of massive machines that came before it. And to truly understand how we got there, we need to look at the 10 largest airplanes ever built, starting with the Cold War, which made all of this possible. Number 10, Convair B-36 Peacemaker, before stealth, before satellites. There was the Peacemaker, a monstrous aircraft born out of post-war paranoia, designed not to patrol the skies, but to haunt them. Stretching longer than a blue whale and powered by 6 rear-facing propellers and 4 turbojets, the B-36 wasn't just a bomber. It was a warning. It could fly from Texas to Moscow and back without refueling, carrying hydrogen bombs deep into enemy territory. And when it roared overhead, cities went silent. Nicknamed the Aluminium Overcast, this wasn't a plane you saw. It was a shadow that passed over entire nations. No aircraft before or since has fused such scale with Cold War intent. But while it could end wars from the sky, its greatest threat wasn't the enemy below. It was time itself. Jet tech has advanced. Missiles got smarter, and the Peacemaker grounded, retired before it could ever drop a bomb in anger, but never forgotten. The sky had a new apex predator, and this one flew with 10 engines. Great, let's continue. Hughes H-4 Hercules. It was never supposed to fly. Too heavy, too wide, too wooden. And yet, on a foggy California morning in 1947, it lifted from the water like a myth made real. They called it the Spruce Goose, even though it was built from birch. Joke that stuck, a legacy that didn't laugh back. Behind its wings was a man unraveling, Howard Hughes, oligarch, inventor, obsessive recluse. The owl wasn't just an aircraft, it was his defiance carved into aviation history. 320 feet from wingtip to wingtip, taller than an 8-story building, designed to carry tanks and troops across oceans without touching land. But the war ended, funding dried up, Senate hearings followed, the ridicule burned, so Hughes did what only Hughes could. He flew it once, 70 feet off the water, 26 seconds, long enough to prove the critics wrong, short enough to never do it again. Then he locked it away, machine too large to fail and too haunted to ever be free. The Spruce Goose was not a triumph of technology. It was a monument to ego, exile, and engineering madness, a floating cathedral made from paranoia and plywood that still sits today in silence, unbroken, untouchable. 8. Boeing 747 Dreamlifter. Boeing needed to move planes to build planes, and shipping by sea, too slow. So they took a 747 and cut it open. What emerged wasn't beautiful, but it worked. The Dreamlifter, part freighter, part Frankenstein, with a body so wide it could swallow wings. It wasn't sleek, it wasn't fast, but it turned the impossible into routine. Entire fuselage sections, stabilizers, engine cores, packed like luggage inside its bloated shell. Its rear opened like a hinge, swinging wide enough to back a truck inside, or a building. From Japan to South Carolina, the Dreamlifter didn't carry passengers. It carried the future of flight, and while the world mocked its looks, Boeing knew the truth. Ugliness is irrelevant when you move giants. 7. Airbus Beluga XL. It looks like a cartoon, a flying whale with jet engines, but inside that bubble-shaped head, precision. The Airbus Beluga XL wasn't built to be pretty. It was built to move Europe's aerospace backbone. Wings, cockpits, fuselage sections, all shifted between France, Germany, and the UK like chess pieces. Its upper fuselage ballooned to carry massive parts, and it wasn't retrofitted. It was born this way. Inside, hydraulic lifts, laser-guided docking systems, and crews trained like air surgeons. It doesn't cross oceans, doesn't break speed records, but it keeps Europe's jets airborne. Without it, the Airbus A350 wouldn't even have wings. Sometimes the strangest silhouette carries the most critical load. 6. Lockheed C-5M Super Galaxy. If Air Force One is the White House in the sky, then this is the Pentagon's freight elevator. The Lockheed C-5M Super Galaxy isn't just a cargo plane. It's an airborne stronghold, one that can transport tanks, helicopters, even other aircraft across continents without pause. With its high-set wings and kneeling landing gear, it lowers itself like a beast, vowing to devour. Entire convoys roll straight in. Inside, an echoing cathedral of steel and tension. Nearly 140,000 cubic feet of cargo space, watched over by a crew that operates like a strike team. It can fly 5,500 miles without refueling, but when it does, it drinks mid-air from boom tankers that dock like mechanical hummingbirds. It doesn't care about beauty, it cares about power, and when the world needs to move a war zone, this is the bird they call. 5. Antonov An-124 Ruslan. Some planes deliver cargo. This one delivers awe. The Antonov An-124 Ruslan was never meant to impress civilians. It was built to haul intercontinental ballistic missiles, tanks, and secrets behind the Iron Curtain. Developed in the shadows of the Cold War, the Ruslan emerged as the Soviet Union's answer to strategic airlift dominance. It could carry 150 tons of payload. That's not freight. That's infrastructure. Its landing gear can kneel, its nose lifts skyward, and the cargo hold, wide enough to drive a train through, comes to life with just 6 crew. Today, the AN-124 operates globally, not as a relic, as a workhorse. From humanitarian relief to billion-dollar satellites, when something enormous needs to fly, Ruslan answers. Even its name is legendary, taken from a mythical giant in Slavic folklore, because that's what it is, not just a plane, a giant among machines. 4. Boeing 747-8 Intercontinental. This wasn't just an aircraft, it was a throne room, sculpted in titanium and air. The Boeing 747-8 Intercontinental was the final evolution of the Queen of the Skies, a farewell waltz for the jet that changed everything. Longer than any 747 before it, faster, quieter, more efficient. But the true magic lay behind closed doors, because while airlines filled these with premium cabins and chandeliers, some clients wanted more. Oil princes, tech kings, state leaders. They turned the 747-8 into a flying palace, marble accents, gold fixtures, war rooms, cinemas, spas. One custom version for a Middle Eastern monarch was rumored to cost over $600 million. The engines whispered, the walls muffled the chaos of the world below, and inside, decisions were made that would never reach the press. The 747-8 wasn't about getting there faster. It was about arriving untouchable, a jet for those who ruled and never needed to explain how. 3. Antonov An-22 Ante. Before the world knew the Ruslan, the Soviets unleashed the Ante. The Antonov An-22 wasn't just big, it was the largest turboprop aircraft ever built, a mechanical beast with spinning steel fists, 4 contra-rotating propellers that howled like war drums. It debuted in the 1960s, at the height of Cold War tensions, when brute strength still trumped stealth. And this plane, it was nothing but brute. Able to carry 80 tons of cargo, the An-22 could drop tanks, troops, or armored vehicles anywhere on Earth, with nothing but dirt under its wheels. It didn't just land on paved runways, it made its own. Inside, its cavernous bay was designed to fit everything the Red Army needed, and a few things it didn't admit to. The Ante wasn't elegant, it didn't whisper, it growled through the sky like a flying factory. And even today, decades after its first flight, it still flies. Because sometimes when you need to move mountains, you send a monster to do the job. Because sometimes, to build a jet that changes the future, you need a plane that looks like it came from another planet. 2. Boeing C-17 Globemaster III. When a crisis erupts and the first response must travel thousands of miles overnight, this is the aircraft that gets the call. The Boeing C-17 Globemaster Emperor wasn't designed to impress civilians. It was built to deliver shock and logistics simultaneously. Massive yet maneuverable, the C-17 is one of the only aircraft that can land on short, makeshift runways and unload an entire armored battalion in under an hour. It can fly 4,500 miles without refueling, carry over 170,000 pounds, and still land on 3,500-foot dirt strips. That means combat gear, tanks, medical units, even Apache helicopters can be delivered to the front lines or to disaster zones. Its secret weapon? Reverse thrust. The C-17 can back up on a runway, no tug required, and its wing design allows steep, agile descents into hostile territory, dodging enemy radar and surface fire while weighing nearly 600,000 pounds. From Iraq to Haiti, Afghanistan to Indonesia, the C-17 has moved everything from special forces to earthquake relief supplies. Presidents ride in Air Force One, but armies move with the Globe Master, because when the world falls apart, this is what nations use to put it back together. Number 1. Boeing VC-25A. It's not just a plane, it's a flying symbol of the most powerful office on Earth. This is the Boeing VC-25A, better known by its call sign when the US President is aboard, Air Force One. Based on the Boeing 747-200B platform, this aircraft was custom-built in the early 1990s with one mission: to serve as the airborne White House. On the surface, it looks like a regular jumbo jet, but beneath the polished blue and white skin is a fortress in the sky, equipped with hardened communication systems, countermeasures against missile attacks, mid-air refueling capability, and shielding against EMP attacks. Air Force One is designed to stay in the air indefinitely if needed. Inside, a full presidential suite, a situation room, medical facilities, and space for top staff and press. Every room, every hallway, engineered for continuity of government. And yet, what's most impressive isn't what's public, it's what isn't. Much of the VC-25A's tech is classified. Rumors swirl about secure digital command hubs, encrypted satellite links, and radar-deflecting skin. What's confirmed is this: if a nuclear war broke out and every safe house and bunker was destroyed, this plane becomes ground zero for the US chain of command. In the skies above us, power doesn't whisper, it roars at 40,000 feet. These aircraft aren't just machines, they are floating command centers, vaults of secrecy, and symbols of strength for the nations and billionaires who own them. From Soviet giants to Western titans, from launch platforms to presidential palaces, every plane we've seen tonight isn't just large, it's a legacy. And at the end of that list is a jet so rare, it doesn't even wear a flag. Subscribe to Luxrish, because next time we are exploring President Putin's private jet that shocked even Donald Trump.